for a little while, because those are the top two guys of the division. They're meeting at a great time, and whoever wins this fight should be the supreme 154-pounder right now.
Is this a fight that you dare to say is a 50-50 fight?
Yeah, it gives a 50-50 fight. I give it more, it's 50-50 in a sense, but because of the experience, you can go 60-40. 60 with Boots, 40 with Xander, but it kind of is a 50-50 fight, yes.
But I think this is going to be a firefight, I really do. I think Zayas is a young man who's very talented and got massive balls. He'll become, like, I think they think it's the size that's going to show in this fight. And I think they're going to try and physically overwhelm Boots. I don't think that's possible, but...
Is that because of the experience? Or like you say,
I think he's so good, honestly. Like I think Boots Ennis is a future pound for pound #1 of the sport. But you have to produce. This to me feels a bit like Mayweather Canelo, in the point of a young generational great who's rolling the dice probably a little bit too early. But that's what made Canelo great, is the fact that he took that kind of fight and had the balls to do it. So you have to respect Zayas, and the fact that he's willing to do it is a serious threat. Because he's not an idiot. Top rank aren't idiots. Like they
think after this fight, should Xander lose, will he come out like Canelo came out after?
Depends how he loses. I mean, like, you know, the way Boots is talking. I mean, like, he's telling me I'm gonna take this kid to pieces on June 27th.
Zayas, man. What do you think? You think he could beat Boots Ennis?
Well, if anybody can, beat him, but that's a hell of a task he's taking on at an early age, too, you know what I mean? So,
boxing analysts view the matchup between Jarron Ennis and Xander Zayas as a defining clash between the division's top two fighters. But the risk is real. Terrence Crawford sees the matchup as a tough test for Xander Zayas, but respects his confidence in taking it on.
Boots Ennis, Xander Zayas announced this morning as well. Thoughts on that?
Man, that's a tough fight, you know, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, you know, that he has in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country, and he's going to do real well in that fight.
Max Kellerman believes Ennis has shown greater natural athleticism throughout his career, giving him a clear edge in talent. At the same time, he notes Zayas has matured since his early years and may now be a very different, more developed fighter.
On one hand, Boots has just looked more special athletically to me than Xander throughout their careers, right? Sure. On the other hand, when you said Xander got better, Xander was so precocious. He was such a young fighter when we first saw him. And you don't have your man bones yet as a boxer. Now he's into his 20s, maybe a different fighter. What do you think of the matchup?
But talent alone doesn't settle the timing. Roy Jones Jr. insists that once a fighter becomes a two-time world champion, questions about readiness no longer apply. He argues that delaying major matchups only risks losing the biggest opportunities, as setbacks can derail future high-stakes fights. For any champion in that position, this isn't just another fight. It is a moment that determines whether they truly belong at the top.
We can think it's too early, but we can't say it's too early when he's already a two-time world champion. It's not too early. It's not too early because
that's just a question. Now,
no. Let me finish. Let me finish. If he's fighting for 2 times world champion already, what if he go for the third one and he gets beat? Then he misses a big money fight with Boots instead of going on and taking this fight. You understand me? So it's like so many times we get cheated out of fights because guys try to wait till the fight simmers or gets to where it needs to be, then or wait till they think one guy's ready. No, if you're a 2-time world champion across the board already, you're ready. If you're not ready, you shouldn't have got them. You shouldn't have got them 2 titles if you weren't ready. So if you got 2 titles, I don't want to hear that you're not ready. You better be ready because you're 2-time world champion. You got 2 of the belts in the weight class. Everybody in the weight class want that. So your behind better be ready.
And that's where things start to get uncomfortable. Robert Garcia respects Zayas for taking on a dangerous fight against Ennis when other options did not materialize. As the matchup nears, he leans toward Ennis, believing his superior skill set gives him the advantage. That gamble could backfire against a more complete fighter, and for Zayas, this is not just a fight, it is a defining risk.
Deciding to fight Boots on a very dangerous, challenging fight for himself, you know, you gotta respect, you know, that decision. You know, if the Virgil fight didn't happen, and then Virgil versus Boots is not happening, and Xander stepping in, you know, gotta respect that kid, you know, for being 23 and taking those challenges. You gotta respect that, you know. my pick, I would probably say, goes to Boots because.
And that decision changes the entire narrative. Mike Coppinger gives credit to Zayas for making the fight happen as the underdog. As the matchup approaches, he believes Ennis still has to prove himself against real competition, despite looking impressive so far.
Where I am, Max, is that I want to give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, young guy, and he wanted this fight. He called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz-Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out, is he special?
Now, attention turns to his development. Professional boxer Gabe Rosado believes Zayas has developed into a more complete, physically mature fighter, highlighting sharper skills and improved conditioning. He points to Zayas' natural size and strength as a key factor that could create problems for Ennis.
Right? On the other hand, when you said Xander got better, Xander was so precocious. He was such a young fighter when we first saw him. And you don't have your man bones yet as a boxer. Now he's into his 20s, maybe a different fighter. What do you think of the matchup?
No, absolutely. I think in his last performance in Puerto Rico, he showed that boxing ability. Nice jab, nice movement, good stamina, endurance. And he's a big dude, man. I went for a jog with him in Puerto Rico. I'm like, how big are you, dude? He walks like 190, man. He's a solid big guy. So he's bringing that weight and that size as well into that fight.
And that's where the real threat begins to show. Roy Jones Jr. believes Zayas brings a more complete skill set than most of Ennis's previous opponents. He highlights Zayas' size, discipline, and ability to attack the body as factors that could force Ennis to make real adjustments.
As a young guy like Xander, naturally it sounds like Xander may be an underdog in this matchup. What do you think that Xander presents to Boots that one, he hasn't seen before, and that two, he'll have to adjust to be successful?
Height, discipline, and Xander's actually a good puncher, and he also knows how to work to the body. So Xander is a complete fighter. I don't know how many complete fighters Boots really has faced, but unlike the guy he fought from overseas who was a decent fighter but he wasn't complete, Xander's complete.
But that could change the entire dynamic. Eddie Hearn backs Ennis to take control of the fight, suggesting there are still layers to his ability that haven't fully surfaced. He believes the right kind of opponent could draw that out, hinting that this matchup may reveal something new.
Depends how he loses. I mean, like, you know, the way Boots is talking, I mean, like, he's telling me I'm going to take this kid to peak on June 27th. And I'm telling you as well, there are so many more levels to Jarron Ennis that you guys haven't even seen yet. You need a great fighter to bring it out of you. Stanionis brought that out a little bit because I thought that was an incredible performance. That was number 1 v number 2. That was supposed to be a real tough fight. It was an absolute one-sided beatdown.
And that uncertainty keeps the fight wide open. Oscar De La Hoya views the matchup as closely balanced, pointing to Ennis's natural ability and steady form. He also notes Zayas' range control and combination work, keeping the outcome uncertain while leaning slightly toward Ennis.
Yeah, I think it's a great, stylistically, it's a great matchup. I think Boots is very, very talented. He's in his prime, obviously. He's facing a guy who knows how to use his distance and throws hard punches, combinations. He has the will to win. I mean, this is going to be a great fight. I don't know who's going to win. It's tough to call, but you might have to give the edge to Boots just because he's on a roll, you know, with his past opponents, the way he's been handling them. Stylistically, I think I would have to give a little edge, but...
Adding to the discussion, Kenny Ellis sees the mental side of the fight as unpredictable, noting how past setbacks can affect a fighter in different ways. He leans toward Ennis in the technical battle, believing his wider range of jab variations gives him an edge over Zayas.
It's hard to tell. Some fighters get punched out, you know. Some fighters get to that very same round where they got knocked out and have trouble in that round for the rest of their career. It's like, you know, a mental thing. Unpredictable. And then he might be one of those ones that just keep ticking, you know. Better make them train hard, make them want it more, you know.
Who do you think wins the jab contest in that fight?
Both of them got decent jabs, good jabs, but I think Boots have a variety of different jabs: the up jab, back jab, straight jab, stiff jab. With Xander, he just got that basic straight jab. You know what I mean? Boots could, like I said before, he got more in his bag of tricks.
And that's where the real questions begin. Robert Garcia questions how tested Ennis really is at 154, arguing short bursts don't prove he can handle full fights against bigger men. As the competition gets stronger, he believes size and late round pressure could expose that gap.
I think Boots, as talented as he is, I think he still hasn't really tested the 154 because one round didn't do much for him. He didn't really test, so he might be very talented, but in the late rounds against a solid 154 pounder that might be getting closer to moving to 160 because Xander Zayas is big. So that could be a little bit of a difference there, you know, if we compare both fights.
But not everyone sees it that way. Coach Breadman rejects the idea that Zayas holds a technical edge, arguing Ennis's skill base is often overlooked because of his flashy style. He believes Zayas' discipline won't be enough to impact the outcome, insisting Ennis's underlying technique will show when the fight unfolds.
In his prime, it's tough. I know you might think that Xander fundamentals is better than Boots. I don't think Xander fundamentals is better than Boots. I think Boots is so electric and so electrifying and so talented is that his fundamentals get overlooked. And I don't really think that those fundamentals that Xander has is going to make a difference in this fight. So I think sometimes that stuff could be a little bit misleading. We're going to see, but you remember me telling you first, those fundamentals not going to mean nothing when that kid start, you know, doing this thing. It's going to be different. And I think that we underrating Boots' fundamentals. I think Boots is fundamentally sound. He does make some mistakes sometimes and swings a little wild, but I think Boots is fundamentally sound.
And that's where the fight begins to take shape. Greg Hackett acknowledges Zayas proved his toughness in recent fights, showing he can handle adversity and push through difficult moments. He sees value in that experience, but still leans toward Ennis, who has faced stronger opposition, giving him the edge in overall readiness.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? That's a great fight, man. Xander, big kid, great confidence right now. He unified. And that fight with Abbas Barraou showed us he definitely a dog. And I mean, he had to bite down in that fight. He took some shots too. You know what I'm saying? He got worked out a little bit too. And fights like that you learn from. Not saying Abbas is a comparison to Boots. Of course he's not. But that did show him something about himself. You know what I mean? He could take a shot and he could fight through tough times. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that. Boots just need a body. He needs somebody like Xander. You know what I mean? Xander is, when it comes to experience, I'm gonna say they somewhat similar, but then again, no, because Boots do got better names than Xander.
As the fight unfolds, the timing of momentum becomes critical, with Timothy Bradley predicting a slow-building fight, leaning toward a late finish for Ennis or a full-distance outcome. He sees Zayas having success early with control and movement, but expects Ennis to close strong and shift the momentum in the later rounds.
If there's gonna be a stoppage, it's gonna be late. It ain't gonna be early. It's gonna be late. Not unless it's like a flash knockdown or something. But nah, I see a late stoppage possibly for Boots, you know, or the distance. You know, I can also see, you know, Xander winning on the scorecards if he can stay up, you know, on his feet late and win some of those back end rounds, man. But I'm telling Boots gonna come on strong as hell in the end, man, because he gonna need to. I think he might get outboxed and outmaneuvered early on, but I think he gonna have to turn into a straight up dog and try to dog walk Xander, man. And you know, hopefully he doesn't just get picked to pieces as he's coming forward. I highly doubt that, man, but...
Continuing his thoughts, Bradley expects the fight between Ennis and Zayas to be decided by toughness and mindset rather than just technique. He believes Zayas may try to stay disciplined and follow a boxing approach, but questions whether he can avoid getting pulled into a more physical exchange. In that kind of fight, he sees Ennis pushing the pace and turning it into a relentless battle where his power and aggression could take over.
I do see it late. Yeah, there's an opportunity for Boots, and Boots, he a dog, man. I'm telling you, this fight gonna boil down to who got more dog in him, man, for real. Because Xander will stand and fight. He will stand and fight. It's his nature. You know, and he got his corner that's gonna try to reel his ass in. Hey man, keep boxing. What you doing? Don't fight with this motherfucker. Don't fight with him because he's too strong. And Boots, he run out of ideas, and all Boots want to do is make it a street war. Like, you know what? It's gonna be a street fight, me and you. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna take your best. You ain't gonna be able to take mine, because I know my shit's hot and spicy for your ass. And he gonna just come and try to take your head off. You know, and every shot he gonna be throwing is gonna be a death blow.
And ultimately, it all comes back to one thing. Former professional boxer Winky Wright supports the matchup between Ennis and Zayas, stressing that top fighters must face each other to prove true greatness. He believes elite victories are what separate good fighters from the best.
Right now, it looks like Xander and Boots are going to fight. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's gonna be a good fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's gonna bring the fans to boxing, and you know, you can only be great by beating somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of wins with no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great, you need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity, and I hope they do it.
And that's where the belief starts to change. Angelo Leo appreciates Xander Zayas' willingness to face any opponent and step into major fights early in his career. He acknowledges Jarron Ennis' skill level, but leans towards Zayas, backing his mindset and readiness to take on the challenge.
I'm gonna go with, man, I like them both. I really like how Xander is handling all this, you know. He's down to fight whoever, whenever. And he's already 23 years old, he's already a unified champion. And I like that about him, you know. He's not afraid to, you know, get his feet wet in this division. So, but Boots, you know, Boots is a tremendous fighter, very skilled as well. I'm gonna go with, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Xander with this one.
And from Zayas' perspective, this fight plays out very differently. He believes he has been shaped by tougher moments than Ennis, giving him an advantage when things stop going smoothly. He argues that once the fight becomes unpredictable, Ennis may struggle to keep up with the demands of the moment. In his view, that difference could allow him to stay ahead when the fight becomes more demanding.
I just feel like he's gonna be ready for battle. He's gonna be ready for battle, but I'm gonna be ready for war. It's two different things in there, you know? It's a different mentality when you go in there. He's never been in a position where he had to adjust. He's always had it his way, you know? So when you have somebody making you think, when you have somebody making you react to something, at some point, the body is not used to it, and the body won't react as fast as you want it to react. The brain won't tolerate what it's getting, and it's not gonna give it or dish it out as fast as you want it to dish it out. So when it comes down to that, I just feel like I got the advantage. I've been uncomfortable before. I've been in uncomfortable positions. I push myself every time. I'm not saying he doesn't, but what I'm saying is I've been in those tough spots. He never been. So when he is and he tries to react, his body just won't give it to him. So come fight night, I'm gonna be 10 steps ahead of him.
Jarron Ennis dismisses the criticism of his defense, arguing he takes less damage than most top fighters. He believes Xander Zayas will be surprised by the speed, strength, and awareness he brings once they share the ring.
Criticism from Xander of your defense.
Did y'all watch Xander?
Yeah, of course.
Did y'all watch Xander? He get hit a lot. He get a lot, man. I don't know what, like these narratives that everybody keeps saying I get hit this, that, and the third. I still get hit less than everybody's favorite fighter and straight like that. But these guys want to put they got to find something to talk about, you know, because when you great at everything, you know, they just pick one thing. You know, like I said, he gonna see firsthand though. It's different when you're in there with me. And I told him this at the press conference. I'm like, it's different when you're in there. I'm a lot faster than what you think. I'm a lot stronger than what you think. My ring IQ is way higher than what you think. I punch a lot harder. It's gonna be real.
And that confidence doesn't stop there. Ennis declares his intent to dominate the 154 division, convinced he will defeat every challenger and establish himself as the top fighter. He believes a decisive win will set the stage for a title run toward undisputed status, making it clear he sees the division as his to take.
You know, I'm ready to take over the division one by one. I'm gonna knock him down one by one and show the world why I'm the best. And like I said, this is my division, and hopefully everybody continue to want to fight each other. You know, especially after I'm victorious on June 27th. You know, I'm going back to back to back to back. I'm trying to be undisputed, and which I will be undisputed at 154. So bring them all on. This is my division.
The spotlight now tightens around Jarron Ennis and Xander Zayas as everything built through the buildup finally meets reality inside the ring. One steps in with momentum and growing expectations, the other with belief and a willingness to take a risk that few at this stage would accept. That contrast is what makes this matchup so unpredictable, because it is not just about skill. It is about how each fighter responds when the fight starts to shift and the pressure begins to rise. At this level, control, timing, and decision-making become the difference, and one moment can completely change the direction of the fight. So now it comes down to you. Does Ennis deliver on everything people expect and take control when it matters, or does Zayas rise to the occasion and prove he belongs at the very top? Drop your prediction below, hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe for more high-level boxing analysis.